Hotline Miami 2 is a game that presents many points of criticism around human behavior, political absurdity, and all forms of violence. The game asks us, who should be accountable? What is innate to humans? How much power does an individual have to influence global conflict? And presents many more ideas. For this analysis, I will focus on how Dennaton Games created one of the most prolific criticisms of war and violence in a violent game. In cinema, the Dutch angle is used to convey distress and unworldly nature. In the German film Angst, we follow a serial killer whose emotions and temptations are framed with this technique. This is achieved with the in-game camera that sways as you move and flashes when you kill and injure others. The screen also becomes tinted red when you kill people during the sections you play as the writer, who does not wish to kill, opting for non-lethal options. The most sickening character is Manny Pardo. He is a mere detective, yet he goes into investigations with live suspects alone to slaughter them in masses. For example, he breached the ship and slaughtered several members of the Colombian cartel, and after this he is told by a police officer that his actions endangered this whole operation. His execution animations are the most brutal of any character as well. He assumes it is his job to kill when he has opportunities to spare others. When the fans are killed off, the last living fan gives up and asks him to be detained. Following this, Mandy exclaims, "You know what happens to thugs like you?" before shooting and killing him. Manny Pardo is a depiction of police brutality and self-righteousness. This overly violent and exploitive behavior is also shown in many other facets of the game, like the fans beating on the henchmen and Barnes claiming he couldn't help himself, and the Red Army soldier looked like Daniels, another member of his unit. All these moments display violent exploitation of others, judging the real-world power some people have within society to get away with such actions. Every level immerses you in madness. For example, the nightclub does not let up with the flashing lights and loud music, while the prison break scene is tense with a blaring alarm and correctional officers holding prisoners at gunpoint. This depicts these two scenarios as ones you would not want to live out, despite being intense and invigorating to play. When playing as Beard, the flamethrower is the last weapon you receive, and you are only ever able to use it after finishing all of Beard's levels. So if you go back and use it, the game criticizes its use. Enemies hit by the flamethrower either run around before collapsing or fall to the floor and wilt into ash. Both the locations and weapons create moments of disillusionment. You are also well immersed in the soundtrack. Every moment has a thoughtfully chosen song, from the vicious and distorted sound of Roller Mobster, increasing your adrenaline, into the drowning ambience of the post-level song, Videodrome, which leaves you in a reflective headspace, passing all the bodies you littered throughout the level. Within the MDA framework, each point has been tied together to create a competent criticism and heavily immersive game. Once you have completed the game, you experience one of the most chilling moments. You witness all the characters you have been following thus far wilt away in the impact of a nuclear explosion. The impact's so significant that when you play the hard mode unlocked after completion of the game, all the buildings in the transitional screen are destroyed. The game's final message against war, violence, and conflict. Hotline Miami 2 is one of the most impactful video games I have ever played, a game so violent, sickening, yet beautiful and thought-provoking.